Now we're live.
Looks like it. Live,
Cool.
live and recording.
Cool. We could do our little early recording and talking. So you said your headset was jacked, huh?
Yeah, it decided to desync itself from the receiver, which is something that's never happened before. So I didn't know to even try that. Well, now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
Well,
I can actually hear you in my headset now.
And doing the live recording avoids us having to do an edit later to get onto YouTube. We just throw it right on YouTube right at the beginning.
Yeah, big time. Because someone started getting lazy and then putting too many in the queue. It just never happened. So
it happens though. I mean, yeah.
It just started being tedious.
Well, and exactly, and we're just doing this for fun, doing this as a time capsule of sorts to show where we're at in our creation process.
I had a couple of tabs open before I started having to troubleshoot that crap, so I have to look those up real quick.
Yeah.
Sega Retro. All right, I got one of them.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I got to get some stuff ready. Let me see, light, because we're talking Genesis does, right?
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah, dude, that's such a good one though. Light Crusader. It's gonna be a fun one to chat about.
Dude, I had no idea. I'll save it, obviously, but man, cool game.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. We're talking hidden treasure. We don't use that.
No, we won't use the G word.
Oh, I mean, I might have a book called Hidden Gaming Gems that I coined well before a certain YouTuber coined the term, but that's okay. It's okay.
He gave you credit, right?
No, of course not. Don't need it, though. I need nothing. I'm good. Good to go, man. Buddy. Good to go.
Yeah. Ooh, I need to add my other camera over here too.
Got the bougie camera.
Yeah, because I got a couple cool little pickups.
Go. That'll be fun. We can start up the episode for the audio, because what we'll do is we'll do our little break. Where we'll pause for a second and then start recording for the audio podcast portion, where it just starts with the intro. We always do.
Yeah, this is kind of cool anyway. Because people tuning in live will get to see this.
us bullshitting before the bullshit.
Bullshit before the bullshit.
Bullshit before the bullshit.
Oh, speaking of. So I didn't think about the end sheets being the not glossy, right? I should probably redo that.
That's why I mentioned that, because I'm like, technically, the art, it won't be as shiny. So I know one of them, and having the copyright page on the left side of your book, that's fine. But your author's bio would be
that's the one where I'm like, I don't want that to be compromised or whatever. So exactly. I'll redo that.
Yeah, usually I usually just leave it in there. Yeah, because I have it right here. I could show it off inside of my book. Let me see if I don't. Let me not mess with. Got to lift. Got to do a heavy lift here.
That one looks kind of heavy.
Oh.
Good night.
This is not as big as your book, by the way.
Well, not the new book, but I think it's bigger than my console book.
Yeah, so there's your end sheets.
Dang.
And right here, and it's a thicker page.
Yeah. I miscalculated on
I usually do an end sheet, and then I do a front cover, and then I do my copyright page. The other reason why I do it like this with a front cover inside is because when I do the digital edition, this is the front cover.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have to recreate a title.
Yeah, that'll be easy though. I'll just have to add. I can just add 4 pages to literally every book.
Yeah, and look, there's video game bullshit in the back.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, this is a thick mega beast of a book.
Thick boy.
I think people will be excited when they get these. Freaking shiny. This is the silver or the shiny edition.
It's freaking nice, dude.
Oh, this thing's heavy as hell, though. I feel for people carrying that around. They can bludgeon someone to death with it. And fucking crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready to go. This is 134, right?
134.
All right. Welcome to episode 134 of Video Game Bullshit. It's time. That's so easy. Super easy, Tristan. It's time to go again.
Super easy. This podcast almost didn't even happen.
He spent like 30 minutes of troubleshooting.
Gosh, damn it. Going crazy too, because like I checked all the settings. All the settings were right. Everything was right. I'm like, why am I not hearing any audio in my headset? And it finally dawned on me, this is a wireless headset going to a receiver, and somehow it desynced. So the way you resync them is to just put them on the receiver and then take it back off, and hey, magic. It's good to go.
You and your bougie ass stuff here. Mine's an audio jack that I plug into my computer, man.
So nice.
Yeah, so nice that it wasted almost an hour of time.
When it works. Technology is great when it works.
And this is going to be 134 will be one of the first episodes where we're doing a live on YouTube at the same time that we're doing our audio. That way we have it up on YouTube. Not doing anything fancy with it. Just listen to two guys bullshit about video games. This is what we do here at Video Game Bullshit. It's fun stuff.
How appropriate.
Fun stuff. So, what have you been up to over the last week, Tristan?
What have I been up to? Let's see. So you know how last week I was mentioning that I was going to discharge a capacitor in my arcade?
Yeah, I said you take your finger, you lick it, and you.
Yeah. So I instead of doing that, I just put my tongue directly on the capacitor. No. Yeah. So this is what's called a chicken stick.
Yeah.
Because, like a chicken, you hold this little piece of wood, this clamps onto chassis ground, and then you touch the anode in order to discharge the capacitor. Well, we did that today. I had a safety observer, and I had the freaking Doc Brown, like freaking high electricity gloves, and I was standing on a rubber mat, and probably way overkill. But I know it was overkill. but dude, it didn't even make a noise. Like I think it had discharged anyway. So like it had been off for about a week and a half, and by that time the capacitor didn't have a charge. So it was the most anticlimactic thing ever.
You use the screwdriver. Chicken sticks for a chicken. But you use the screwdriver if you've used it within the last hour or so and you need to change it out. Like after that, it discharges within a day or less.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah.
You're over there like
in most cases.
Like
no. I did put a hand behind my back though.
But you didn't have any pants on, so you at least did that.
Well, yeah, no pants, no shirt,
no skibbies. Put a diaper on just in case you shit yourself.
Biker shorts,
diaper
as tight as possible.
Holy cow, that's funny. Just seeing you with like the
no. But yeah, so like we disassembled like the geometry board and like everything else off of that monitor, which I'm going to now send to a place in Illinois for arcade monitor repair. And then Eric is also having me send. He's got a Sharp NES television that was a barn find that needs some TLC. So we're sending that over to that same place, and hopefully they can revive it. We'll see.
Nice. Crazy stuff.
That was my fun today. Anyway,
dude, my week has been Army centric. Crazy stuff as always. Got to do I don't know if you did many running cadences in the Air Force. Were you like running?
Not with cadences, not with singing Jodies or whatever the crap that's called. Yeah.
Jodies? Yeah, that might not be.
Yeah, no. But yes, we did have to like run in
formation.
In formation. Thank you. I can't even think of that word. I've been out so long.
So when you do cadences in the Army, typically, you're running, you're doing old school, kind of like what you would see even Marine style in Full Metal Jacket or any of the basic training movies or TV shows that you've seen. And this was probably my last one to do for my own formation in the Army, which was pretty surreal. I busted out some old school ones.
So you were singing Jodies.
I don't know what Jodies mean, man.
It's what you think it is.
Jodies are when the Air Force guys go, and then the wives hook up with the Army.
Well, yeah, that's a different definition of a Jody.
That's the only Jody I know.
That's not singing Jodies.
No, I don't.
That's a different Jody altogether.
We call it cadences.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know that. Yeah. It's when the Air Force wives hook up with the Army dudes when you all deploy.
Yeah, if you've ever heard of Jody.
But anyways, I did some old school ones. I even did hard work where you kind of ad lib and stuff. That was pretty cool. Some of my soldiers came out and also did cadences, but we ended up doing about 3 miles in formation. And then after that, they wanted to do a relay race, and they had the first sergeants start the relay race. And I'm not a sprinter, so yeah, I was not in first place.
Yeah, well,
that was like taking off, but I can run really far, but I cannot run fast. So it's like, hey, tried it out, man. And then yesterday, I haven't done one since I've been in the Army, but we did a golf scramble. And so, we usually that's like a normal thing in the military, you do golf scrambles and stuff. And this is the first one that I've done in like 20 years. I haven't played golf in over 20 years. We went to Mamalay Bay. It was freaking really nice. Driving around in a golf cart, all crazy, drinking drunken Arnold Palmer. So it was good stuff. Like, it was fun. Heckling people and hacking away at the golf balls.
That was the best thing ever, like being at the driving range. So the driving range on base for us, it was off base, but it was still the base driving range and base golf course. It was along this like really busy road. So like you'd be in your backswing and inevitably someone would honk. Like, so it's so rude, but I thought it was hilarious.
Freaking crazy
all the time.
There was and we played up for the golf scramble, though. You play best ball, so like there were 4 of us playing, and whoever had the better one. There were a couple ones though where I hacked at it and it went like right next to the pin. I was like, all right, I had a couple of good ones out of 18 holes.
Yeah, did my part.
Out of 18 holes, I had like a couple of good shots. Everything else went way the hell out there. Some of the times though, you'd hit it, you'd duff it, you hit it real hard, it duffs and it starts rolling, and then that ends up being the best shot because everybody else tried to do too fancy and went flying off to the sides. And so that's the best ball. Like, it was good stuff though. We were out real late yesterday. It was fun though. Needed one day to like relax and getting ready for my move. Getting ready to
so like, what's the timeline now?
So I report in the summer, but you have to start doing levy packets and getting household goods ready and getting orders and clearing and turning in gear and doing all the training, and there's prerequisite papers and a bunch of other stuff that I got to do. So, basically in 1 to 3 months, I should transition out of my current position. Change responsibilities, what they call it in the Army. So I'll, hand over my guidon to the incoming first sergeant. as the outgoing. I'll do a speech and everything. I did one in Georgia, and I'll have to do one here. And that'll be fun. And then I'll be able to, get ready, get my family ready and everything. The one good thing that the DoD just did, though, is they finally gave us a pet stipend. So going overseas, it costs thousands of dollars to bring your pets. And it costs thousands of dollars to take your pets, to put them under the planes, to do quarantine fees, medical fees, all this stuff. So now they'll pay $2,000 for your pets one time.
Good. That's awesome.
So that started January. So that'll be nice. Yeah, it costs a lot to bring the doggies out here. So
yeah, I bet. How many pets do you have?
Just two chihuahuas.
Two? Gotcha.
2 idiots.
2 idiots. I love chihuahuas, by the way.
The other thing that we're doing is, and I've done this for 7 years now, is the Taji 100. So it's running 100 miles in the month of February. So right now it's like around the 10th. I've got in over 40 miles in like 10 days. So I'm definitely right on par, doing well, and enjoying my time. And so I do it as a mix of running. I do it elliptical bicycle, and like what it does is it does percentages. So you do 1 mile for 1 mile for 1%. But if you do a bike, I think it's 3 miles for 1%. And I think you can row and you can swim, which I'm not doing either of those. So I don't even know what those percentages are. But I just log it all, and you log it on the website. We have like a team for everybody that's in my company, and then there's a team from my Georgia company, and they're actually beating us right now. So I tell my soldiers, like, hey, you gotta beat them over there. They changed their name from the Death Dealers to the Hedgehogs. They're the Hedgehogs now. So like, we gotta beat those stinky hedgehogs. And just like kind of building a little competition, but also, having fun. And it's all for charity for Camp Taji and those that gave the ultimate sacrifice back in the day. And during
cool.
So pretty cool. But yeah, it's basically all I've been up to recently. Is just some Army stuff, and then of course projects. But
so recently, due to a couple circumstances, but mostly because we've got a couple of conventions coming up. We've got I plan on actually going out to California for the first. Well, we went to California for a couple Giants games a few years ago, but I haven't seen my parents' house in about 10 years. And then in that time, both my sisters have moved to like Central California. So we plan on going out there, spending a few days with them, and then driving up to see my parents sometime during the summer. But like, school is going to complicate that. And there's really no timeline. I'm not like I'm setting my own timeline to start school. Bottom line is, I think I'm going to actually wait until the fall semester to start school now. So I'm free. I know exactly. It is. But I'm actually considering going to Game On Expo now.
Well, there's no consideration. You need to go.
Yes, I do. You
just come room with me. I already got a hotel.
Yeah.
And we might have to room with Scott for one day or so, because I know, Gamester John Lester. He's gets a few rooms, but I try, especially because I'm coming out super early. Like I'm going to be out there the Wednesday before, but Scott's also going to be out there, and we're just going to figure stuff out. And if I got to get a hotel or something, I just bought the return flight.
Well, I've got Hilton points too, so if it comes down to it. Yeah,
me too. I actually used Hilton points to buy my return plane ticket from Phoenix to LA on Monday, because I got to link up with London and Andrew on Monday, and we're going to Disneyland.
That's right.
Ironically, it was to go from a regular ticket to a first class ticket was $30.
No brainer.
So one first class. Yeah. I was like, I've never bought a first class ticket before. So I was like, oh God, this is going to be funny. But yeah, so Game On's definitely one. I am now also, because I found my timeline, I'm considering for conventions going to SoCal. And SoCal is the week before I was planning to fly out. So maybe I fly out a week earlier, go to SoCal for the weekend, and then start my PCS
Remind me where SoCal is. I mean,
Southern
SoCal.
California.
Yeah, I know. That's why I hesitated when I asked that question, because I knew I was going to get a Jeff answer.
The only answer you'll ever.
Oh gosh, where is the expo?
I think it's just LA.
LA. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes
I think
sense.
it's just LA. I think, but I know. Yeah, we might just go out early. I'll talk to Andrew, try to convince her, and then that'll give her another opportunity to do some kind of Disney, or because I know we also want to kind of travel on the way to El Paso, because you got to kind of swing down California past like the Phoenix area, Tucson area to get out there. So like we want to go visit some friends and do some other stuff and kind of take our time. So it might be worth taking an extra week of leave. And I haven't taken really any leave over the last year. So that'd be kind of cool. So I'm contemplating.
And that's another thing. Like, obviously it's a little bit different now that I don't have a traditional day job right now, but I'm plenty busy with whatever. But I haven't taken a vacation in quite some time, like a traditional vacation in quite some time.
You should.
And yeah, like going to California this year will be really fun, I think.
Yeah.
Go see my parents, see some friends that I haven't seen in a long, long time. And
well, if you go to California right after Game On, the week after, one of those days, I could tell you later, we're going to Super Nintendo World. I don't know which day in the week, but like you could visit family. We could both link up at Super Nintendo World, and like the day we go to Universal, like we're only going like one of those days that Andrew's allowing me to leave Disney. Just saying.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that one out. Oh, gosh.
That'd be wild.
That's definitely like, obviously for gamers, it's a bucket list item.
And then when they open the one in Orlando, like it's going to be another bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's going to be crazy.
Insane, dude.
So I guess we could talk about pickups a little bit.
Sure.
Got some cool stuff. So to piggyback off last week, I mentioned I was going to get some box protectors. And so I did get in a couple box protectors. These are interesting ones. So it just makes these boxes look nice. So this is the virtual pro wrestling from last week. It makes it look good. The interesting thing is that they do they always do weird, like this one has like a weird like center fold in it inside the box. And then they all like end up like having their own different type of like connection. But this one's, for the oversized, because these are bigger than the actual N64 Super Nintendo boxes. It's a different size. And then I got one for this old one that I picked up a while ago. Super Picross. Yeah, I got the Super Nintendo one because I only have like a couple cardboard boxes here, and I'm still waiting on a Genesis one for our game of the episode, which is sitting over my shoulder. But I got in those, which is super cool. That just, to me, I don't care because of box protectors. I don't care if my boxes have patina. I don't care if they're mint. Because that will give them shape. That will make them all uniform on my collection. If I wanted to have them all side by side, which I'm not buying a crap ton of Japanese N64 and Super Famicom games. I'm just buying select ones that I have nostalgia for. Because like for some reason, when I started emulating games back in the day in college and everything off of Napster, because I'm old, I would always go to Super Picross. So Super Picross is a super freaking nostalgic game for me.
I almost picked up. Do you like Picross 3D?
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, I almost picked that up just because of you. I almost picked that up the other day.
Dude, that Picross 3D is a fun one. I think there might be a sequel. Maybe not in the US, but I think there might be a sequel because I played the hell out of Picross 3D. I probably just need to play it again because it's super complicated, but it's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I actually did get in a few Switch games this week. I didn't get them in. I bought them all at the store. But this first one is fun because while you were doing troubleshooting, I tried to play it. And so I got this game here. It is called Button Up, published by PM Studios. And I think it's like Central Sphere Games is the is either the digital publisher or the developer, and then there's Circle on here too, so you can never tell who the developer is and who the digital publisher is. But this game right here does not work on my Switch. I don't know. I've reset a couple times. I put the cartridge in, and there's no update on there, so I just go to start the game, and it just loads on a black screen for minutes.
Did you try putting it back or taking it off the dock, putting it back on the dock? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't in handheld mode, so no. Maybe I need to put it in the dock.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But so far, and this is a new game, so I don't know if others will have this same issue or not. It looks cool though. It looks like a cool, fun pixel platformer. It was like $20 or something. This one I didn't know was getting a physical release, and because it was sitting there, I was like, "Oh crap!" Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
What the crap is that?
So Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is the spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio.
Okay.
And it is freaking awesome. Like, this would be a game that I would want Premium to publish if we could have got it. Of course, who gets the hipster game? But the hipster publisher, I Am 8-Bit, did this release.
Yeah.
Yep. I assume that they might have like a super cool hipster edition on their website too, which is awesome. And then the final game, which is the one that I wanted that they didn't have when I bought those two games, but I got it today after lunch, is I finally got Prince of Persia.
Oh, nice. I still need to get that thing.
Lost Crown. And it's $30. It's $30 at GameStop.
Okay.
So
I'm going to have to go hit them up on Monday.
Well, and because, Pro membership, you save $5 or whatever. It's like getting newer games it's the way to go. I think Mario vs. Donkey Kong comes out next week. So that'll be, I downloaded the demo, played it. It's fun. It plays just like Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance. So like 1-for-1 with better graphics. So that's cool. But yeah, I have heard Lost Crown is like amazing. It has the potential to be like one of the best.
Well, yeah, and the combat system is insane. I don't know if you've ever like watched some videos of people like putting together combos, but it's like Street Fighter style combos. It's insane, man.
I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be cool. The only other thing that I have to show, which I haven't, and I want like listeners to let us know if you want us to do more of this, is, and I could dig a little deeper, is I got in challenge patches, new ones that we're doing for Premium. Yeah. And so I got in this.
That one's so freaking sick, dude. I love that.
This one's for Bobby 67. This is an NES game, physical cartridge game. And what these challenge patches are is that inside of Premium Edition games releases, there is a challenge card. On the back is a developer challenge that the developer creates. You beat it, you post about it online. We'll mail you a patch for free, the iron-on patch, but you can also sew it. We'll mail you these for free. So this is the Bobby one. This is actually like a little like badge that's like in the game.
I love that.
Like freaking cool. I also got one in for Oratorio, which is another NES game.
Very nice.
And so this is just like one of the different bosses, but like Oratorio is the spiritual prequel to Rez. It kind of feels like Rez, which is like, music-based shooter game. Really, really fun. And, there's a developer challenge with this. This game is still in production, so we get the patches early sometimes. But this game's still in production. So that's one. And then this one, which is really fun, is Wife Quest. And
I love it.
And what I like with some of these, like this one, the text is embroidered. So it's actually embroidered text with a printed screen design for it. So I have fun with some of these.
What I like about that one is I already know that I've earned that patch. So
okay.
Having played through the entire thing to put together the manual.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, and then the final patch is actually on the other side where we have, and we promote them, but it's not like on anything, is unboxing patches. So if anybody unboxes a Premium Edition games release, we will mail them a special patch for the unboxings. What we decided to do is instead of doing them by series, we do a new patch every year. So this will be 2024's unboxing patch for the year. And then later on, we'll do multiple ones. This one is something that Tristan designed. And it's huge.
I love it, dude. I love that so much.
And it also has Hagen's Alley books on it, which is really cool. But this is actually on the banner that goes behind us. This is big patch.
That's so cool.
You compare it, it's like more than 2 patches wide.
I need one of those like yesterday.
Yes. And so as soon as somebody stops being lazy and mailing you this thing, because we got into 2 mailers. I just haven't done it. I'm going to toss in some bonus patches in there for Tristan.
That's awesome, man.
But honestly, like maybe that's something we could do on as a segment on Video Game Bullshit is we could talk about like some of the premium edition games challenges and patches, or even the games. Like we can make
or like highlight one every episode or something like that.
Something like that. Or every once in a while we pop one out and be like, all right, let's grab Love 3 and we talk about the challenge, and then we show the patch, and then we talk about how to get the challenge. And like because I'm telling you, we have some games that are coming out that we announced on the last premium edition games direct, the NES games, the double game pack, and those challenges are obscure as hell. So if we start doing this, we could actually give listeners a heads up. I'm like, here's how you find this obscure ass challenge, because some of these, like for example, Phenotopia, you have to find a turtle when you are fishing, and there's only one specific cave in the game where there's a turtle there to get the patch. You can get it really fast though in the game. You don't have to play for hours, but if you know where to go, so it's pretty cool that so we could do like the VG Masters Challenge,
VGBS Counselor's Corner.
Well, why I said the VG Masters Challenge is the old VG Masters Club that I ran back in the day. We had challenges, so
gotcha,
classics. But yeah, the Masters Corner. There we go. But yeah, I mean that's something that we could always do on Video Game Bullshit. We could talk about the different challenges and stuff. So what have you picked up, Tristan?
Well, aside from my chicken stick that I already showed off, little safety tool for CRT discharge. I'm going to go to my other camera. Whoop. And this is actually a picture of where I grew up in the Redwoods.
Nice.
My dad took that picture, and I was so in love with the picture that it's sideways. Just it's a 13 by 19 picture, so this is the only way that I could get it in the frame,
But if you spin it like normal upwards, we could see it. There we go.
Yeah,
that looks cool as hell.
Yeah, so you got Highway 101. I grew up in Northern California in the Redwoods.
Jason Voorhees in the back right now.
Just about. So I got that. But I also got what you see here.
I saw the Neo Geo.
Neo Geo, but it's also lighted.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it so
really
much.
Cool. Was that like an Etsy thing or what?
It is an Etsy thing. Yes.
Nice. That's cool. I love going
They did a really good job on it.
Love finding treats on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Is that like plastic or wood or what type?
It's plastic. It's plastic.
Nice. That's cool.
But it's really nice construction too.
Yeah.
So it's not only the frame is 3D printed, and then I don't know what they did for the the translucent part that actually lights up, but they did a great job, whatever they did.
Yeah. That looks cool.
And so I went to Ben's Game Zone.
Game Zone.
I went there today, and he actually gave this to me because he couldn't find a good price on it.
And you sing his theme every week.
I do. I sing his theme and I sing his praises every week. So he gave me this copy of Geist Force.
Geist Force
for the Dreamcast.
What type of game is Geist Force? Shoot 'em up.
Geist Force is like Star Fox. It's like a Star Fox type game.
So like an on-rail shooter.
Yes. So it's crazy too because Geist Force, I looked this up. I'm just going to read from Sega Retro here. It's an unreleased Sega Dreamcast game, one of the first games to be announced for the console, and also one of the first to be canceled.
What?
Not much was known about the game for years, other than it was a spaceship shooter similar to the likes of Star Fox 64 on the N64. It was featured in several magazines, and a couple of videos were released, but the game ultimately did not surface.
Oh shit!
The project was originally due to be released as a launch title for the system in North America, but was canceled sometime after mid-1999. It was canceled after political infighting amongst the team and missed deadlines. According to the lead programmer, the artwork was 90% done. The programming was 65 to 70% complete, but there was a lack of confidence in the game succeeding in Japan, so they just canceled it. The release that I have that I just showed off was the official release of it. It's actually a pressed disc. That's not like a burned disc.
Cool.
I mean, dude, it's complete with freaking like. The artwork is like really nice on the front. It's a press disc.
So is it 100% a fan release?
I don't know. I need to like look into it, but that's where he couldn't really like find any information. It's even got a freaking spine card.
Yeah, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
because I know there's some websites that'll do like legit like aftermarket releases, like fan releases, or.
You know. Well, and then you got like companies like NG Dev that do like Dreamcast releases nowadays, but
it would be interesting to know if it was like with support of the devs. Like, did they like or not? That's what I don't know. If that's the case, that's cool. If it's just a fan one, still cool.
Yes, like, and I'm definitely going to pop it into my Dreamcast to see how playable it is. Because I mean, if it's like Star Fox 64, I freaking love that game. So, give me more.
Oh, I mean, we've tested a few of those for premium edition games, like modern ones, and I've wanted to sign all of them. One of them I think got a physical from someone else, but then there's another one that we've tested. There's a few. Yeah. When people bring like recommendations in our Discord, like some of those we test out and play.
Yeah. So those are my pickups for the week, sir.
Nice. Freaking cool. One thing is like as we live stream, we'll have to check the chat every once in a while, and I'm sure you can add a little ticker, like right above the ticker, like maybe below our names, right next to the VGBS, where it actually shows like if somebody does a comment or something, it might pop up. Yeah. But like we'll have to check that stuff. We're not going to do any checking today, but like maybe we'll reference it at a certain point, like right now in the thing. But so let's move over to the news.
Oh, actually, we do have some people.
Do we?
One person talking. Yeah, Picross 3D on DS is great. This is from the Void.
From the Void.
Okay. From the Void something. And it says, "Yep, on the 3DS, Picross 3D Round 2, physicals only in Europe." And
see, that's what I was saying. I knew that there was a second Picross. I swear I remember seeing it, and so it only had it, but it has a physical in Europe. 3DS though is not region free, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna have to
I don't think it is.
However, my Steam Deck does have a 3DS emulator, so I'm going to have to get Picross 3D too.
And then the other one is he says it's not region free, but do we send the challenge patches anywhere in the world?
Yes, so I mail them out. I hand write the addresses on the envelopes, and I use international stamps. So that's all it is. And yes, we'll ship them anywhere in the world. We're not packaged within boxes. It's just they go inside of an envelope, and I mail them out. That being said, if somebody does like all of the challenge patches, they don't all go into a envelope, because if I do more than like 3, it might charge
more than just a stamp.
Exactly. Yeah. Depends on the weight. And so when we're going to like that big honker, the unboxing patch, I probably have to do that one individual. So then I'll have to do a couple. And it's like it's $1 a thing. I mean it's really cool. It's something that we are the only ones that are doing it since Activision was doing those patches back in the Atari days. I do know I talked with some guys that started doing some for like Jaguar, and they were doing some stuff. They showed it to me. I think it was at Classic Game Fest in Texas. It was super cool. That was like after I showed them like some of our challenge, they're like, "Oh my god, we make these too!" And he showed me like some of his Atari ones.
Oh, neat.
But they did as like a fan thing, and I thought it was super neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we mail them anywhere in the world for sure. We have what on our team they call them the patch hunters, and so some people have to get all the patches, and we do run out of patches. So be sure to right now I think we are only out of maybe Phoenotopia. And it'll be one of those where we'll market it later, and if I like dig out like 20 patches or something, we'll be, all right, we have 20 left. And then we'll make it a big thing. Like maybe we'll do a video game bullshit thing for it or something. Because we're not like out, I don't think. But it's right now closed for patches for Phoenotopia. We had Super Blood Hockey turned off for a little bit, but I found like 100 patches, so we're good. We're good. Nice. Yeah, well, I mean we've had almost 600 people submit for that patch. It's insane. Oof. Like it's nuts. Now. Oratorio, which I didn't show that one patch. It's that's an older game by John V. I think we've only had 2 or 3 people complete it because it's hard. You have to beat boss rush mode in Oratorio, and that is a chip.
Binder's Tale. Yeah, Binder's Tale.
Oh right? Yes, my bad. Or body Binder's Tale.
Or body Binder's
Tale. I'm saying Oratorio. Or body Binder's Tale. Yeah, or body. There is a boss rush mode in or body. So we've had 3 people beat that one.
Holy cow. It is tough.
It was only 1 for the longest time, and then 2 more people popped in like in the last month. I'm like, I have to go and I usually mail them out like 1 every couple months. I'll like grab all the ones out of our spreadsheet and then I just mail them out. I need to do that again. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow during Super Bowl. Maybe I'll do a bunch of patch mailings because I haven't done that in a minute. But yeah, so that'll be like the time. Like after we do our pickups, we'll check the chat, do a little chatting. But the news. So I only got a couple things for the news. One is following up with last week's craziness of like what was going on in wrestling and all that stuff where it was like The Rock showed up and shat on everything and pissed off everyone, and Cody Rhodes got screwed out, and like it was hilarious. So they did a press conference for Wrestlemania in Vegas, which is coincidentally where they're doing the Super Bowl. Yeah. So The Rock came out, was getting booed and all this, and immediately flipped the script and went bad guy Rock that he hasn't done since the 90s.
He went heel Rock, huh?
He went bad guy.
Oh boy.
And then Cody Rhodes came out all mad. So this whole thing was a work. It was great. Like I predicted last week, the whole thing was a work on all the wrestling marks, all the nerds they're all emotional and blowing up online. It was a big marketing stunt. I feel like it was probably to sidetrack away from the whole Vince McMahon pooping on people's faces thing.
Yeah.
But it made for some great television. I'll tell you that. Like, it was really cool. There's like The Rock came out, was doing all that. So now it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, like everybody wanted, as we knew it would happen. And then nobody could figure out like why. What are they gonna do with The Rock now? No, they're going to do either night 1 of WrestleMania, because there's 2 nights, either night 1 or at the next pay-per-view in Australia. They're going to do a WrestleMania style tag team match. So WrestleMania 1 was Mr. Wonderful Paul and Roddy Piper versus Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Tag team match.
Wait, what? Say that again. Mr. T?
Mr. T.
Seriously?
Because Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were in Rocky 3 together. So
I had no idea that freaking Mr. T was ever in wrestling.
And the special guest referee was Muhammad Ali. Liberace was the guest ring announcer. That was WrestleMania, man. That's how WWF.
That's insane.
That's how WWF got on the map. But anyways, since this is a build up to WrestleMania 40, they're going to likely do The Rock and Roman Reigns now both as bad guys.
Looks like we lost Jeff. I'm going to send him another invite. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, guys. It's a funny thing about doing things live, right? Stand by. Hey, there you are.
We're back. There we go. So, I feel like with this being WrestleMania 40, they're going to go back to the original one and do a Rockin' Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and then the other champion is Seth Rollins. He's like the other show's champion, and that's what they're going to do for a tag team match.
Gotcha.
And that's cool. It just sounds like it'd be fun television. It'll be cool, and they'll do it either at the next pay-per-view. But it's like it is some peak entertainment. That is what wrestling is, and it's really fun to watch.
Well, and I mean, yes, peak entertainment, absolutely. Like I haven't like religiously watched wrestling since the Attitude Era, I would say. Late 90s, early 2000s. And I'm actually interested in seeing this WrestleMania.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
And I have like nothing to do. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
but it sounds like a good time.
Well, I've been a filthy casual for years and years and years because, like, I watch the Royal Rumble and I watch WrestleMania. Yeah. And then what I follow the rest of it is on YouTube, watching they do like top 10s and stuff every week on WWE, and then AEW do synopsises. AEW is the other competitor wrestling, where Chris Jericho's on it, and Sting and some other guys.
Sting is still wrestling.
It's his last year. He's doing his final
tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's wrestling in a tag team with another guy who wears face paint, a young dude named Darby Allin who like skateboards and does crazy shit.
Oh, I'm familiar with Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
he's a weird dude.
Really cool though. But like, yeah, so I watch both of those as like little synopsis on there. So I don't watch the shows every week or any of that, but I watched the Royal Rumble a couple weeks ago. Like we said, talked about the poll where I did, or the pool where I didn't win. It's the same thing as doing squares for Super Bowl. We did squares for the Royal Rumble. But WrestleMania is like insane because it's 2 days in a row, like multiple hours and hours of content. It's really cool. And then the other thing that's insane is all the other wrestling promotions will have shows that weekend too. So like WrestleMania will be in Philly. And so in Philly, they'll have all the other companies will go out there and they'll throw up like mega cards with all their wrestlers because they know there's a bunch of wrestling fans in there. So it's like a freaking Woodstock. It is nuts. I would that when I retire from the Army, like I am going to try to go to wrestling Woodstock every year. Whether I go to WrestleMania, I don't care. I want to go to the area and just enjoy the culture every year, just to have fun. I think it'd be cool as hell. And so that's what I want to do once I'm out of the Army is I want to go do that. I don't care if I get tickets to WrestleMania. If I could, I would. But like I would love to just go like see all the weird shows and do all the cool stuff.
You're gonna be not a roadie. What's it called? People that like follow the bands around.
But this is just like going to that weekend, going to the area, and like, it's like going to a convention, and hanging out.
You're gonna be a wrestling groupie. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, that would be if you followed them from show to show.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be pretty damn cool though to go check it out. So that's one of the news pieces. The only other news, and I don't think we talked about it, was Xbox and them talking about stopping doing physical production, but this last week, I think it was Phil Spencer. I think that's who Phil Spencer. Yes. He said specifically they're not going to stop producing Xbox Series X consoles. So they aren't going to stop doing that, but then they're probably going to go to the digital only one. Now, this is the weird thing. This is the first console since I have been out of my own, living on my own. I've been in the Army for almost 20 years, doing all that. This Xbox Series X is the first console I've not bought.
Really? Okay.
Did not buy one. Did not.
Well, I mean, I can't blame you because I literally have one sitting, on my entertainment center, and
dust.
Yes, it's collecting
as
dust.
Everyone says.
I know. Well, not everyone. So I actually ran into someone at Ben's Game Zone. Well, yeah. You run into those people that are like really in that Xbox ecosystem, and they're like, I'm in that ecosystem, right? They want to be Xbox people, but more and more, I don't understand how they can be, because there's no exclusives. There's no reason for you to stay with them unless you're like a Halo fan, a Starfield fan,
or you love Game Pass.
Or you love Game Pass, sure.
Game Pass is the reason to be an Xbox gamer.
You're right. You're right.
You get tons and tons of games at your disposal, brand new releases to play with part of that subscription service. But that's also why I never bought an Xbox, because I have Game Pass and I can play it on my Steam
PC
Deck.
though. Yeah, there's a PC Game Pass too.
Yeah. So the PC one I can load onto my Steam Deck. I can play it in portable like I'm playing the damn Switch.
Yeah.
It has lag up the ass, though.
You mentioned Xbox Game Pass, but this is why this also happened in this past week. People are freaking out because I think it was GameStop or something like that was like advertising that Microsoft Game Pass is going to be available. They're like, whoa, Microsoft Game Pass.
Oh yeah.
So, like, they're apparently going to be changing the branding from Xbox Game Pass to Microsoft Game Pass.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that it's going to be available on both the Switch and the PS5. So you don't even have to. Yeah. So, like, all these Microsoft people that have, like, been really loyal to the brand are, like, really pissed off right now.
Do you know how cool that would be if my Game Pass subscription includes, or they'll probably require a small upgrade, but includes PlayStation and Switch, and then like literally on my PS5 I could have Game Pass. Oh,
well, I know, and that's why people. Literally, the only reason that people are like staying with the Xbox ecosystem is because of Game Pass, right?
It's a big reason,
and they might not have that reason anymore. Damn. So their world is crumbling down. There's supposed to be like a press conference or like the news is supposed to come out this week. The week of the 12th is what Phil Spencer said. And the big news is coming out. So like all these exclusive games that used to be exclusive to Xbox may be coming to other platforms. Dude. Along with Microsoft Game Pass.
So cool though. Like I love when
I don't care personally, but
yeah, it's so cool. like I play retro stuff on my new stuff anyways, and I've been enjoying the Steam ecosystem. If they do Steam Game Pass as well, because that's my major issue with Game Pass playing on my Steam Deck is there's a shit ton of lag. It's to the point where I didn't like a couple of games, and it's probably because of the lag from Game Pass, not because of the game itself. Really? So I can't really play game. I stopped playing it because I'm perceiving that the little bit of lag I'm getting is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, in any sort of lag, in any sort of game, fighting game, platformer, whatever, it just breaks. It breaks the experience. You can't play it.
Well, in like normal Game Pass, like on Xbox, you download the game and play it on your Xbox. This is all streamed over the internet. So because it's doing that, there's definitely lag. Like I just don't know how much. I don't know what. But like when I was playing Tunic, for example, I was like, oh, it's okay. And then everybody swears is an amazing game. So I'm like, okay, so I got the physical on Switch. So eventually when I get to it in the backlog, I will really know if it's the lag or not.
Sure.
Because I just couldn't beat the first boss guy. There was a boss I kept dying on him.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was me, but maybe it's just me.
maybe
I just need to get good.
But yeah, dude, like next week, whenever we stream, and like, Saturday or Sunday, whenever we decide to do it, we'll actually have like some concrete Xbox news to talk about because that's apparently what's going to be happening this week with Phil Spencer and the Xbox team. The times they are a-changing.
It's freaking wild. I love it though. I love hearing all the news and all the fun stuff.
I would be sad to see like them get out of hardware though, because I mean, really, you would only have Nintendo, who is a casual. Like they're not trying to compete with Sony, and then Sony. So like,
yeah,
those are the only two choices. And who's gonna usurp them? You know, like nobody.
Steam. Valve.
Steam, yeah, they could. They already tried it with the Steam box, like the Steam
Deck.
box. Oh yeah, with the Steam Deck, yes.
Steam Deck has probably taken over.
But can you imagine if the Xbox, if Microsoft made a Steam Deck like device to like play, you know, like your Game Pass stuff on?
Yeah.
That would be hugely popular. I don't know if they would ever do that. Maybe that's the news. Time will tell.
I don't know. Maybe that is. But I mean, the thing is, we are in the age of 1 million handheld PCs now, micro PCs. So it's, you know, like the one you had to talk me out of the last time.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Tristan. Yeah, like, and I did not buy it. So
I almost had something that I was going to have you talk me out of, but I've already been talked out of it.
Ooh, what is it?
A buddy of mine was getting rid of a laser etcher.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about buying it from him.
Yeah. Laser etchers, cool.
Yeah, but I don't have room for it, one. Two, I don't have adequate ventilation for it.
Yeah.
So, no.
Well, because with it, when it comes to laser etching, it gets very, very hot when you're doing it in a place. So you have to have an open garage or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's also messy.
Yeah. So I just don't think it's for me.
No, I would say absolutely not. And plus, it's also time consuming and something that you could spend your time working on book projects.
Yeah, I know. I don't have time to tinker with new stuff like that.
Exactly.
I just don't want to.
And I mentioned book projects, so that's a good transition.
Yes.
What projects we've been working on, and I got my notes here.
Yeah.
Which is good. And after we do that, after we do project announcements, we'll check in on the chat again after we're doing that.
Yeah.
So first things first, we mentioned it last week, but the Metroidvania Chronicles are in print right now. That means that we are now waiting on the shipment, is the whole freight shipment piece of the Metroidvania Chronicles. So we're in a 2 to 3 month waiting period for it to come on a freighter. We mentioned it last time, phase 2. I already have phase 2 written, and I've been formatting. I'm already through the first 2 chapters of formatting. I'm saying the book will be done here in another week or so. Completely done. Then it's time to get a cover, which the artist is working on right now. I know they're backed up, and it's not going to be Phil Summers. He is not available, but I have another artist, and they're busy as well. Everybody's busy. So I said, hey, put it in there if you can get me a demo, so that way I can reveal it for a cover. That'd be cool. They're going to do it in the style of the original, and then I got to see what I'm going to do for the main cover too, because I got to do 2 art covers. But it's over 200 pages this time. It's even bigger. So freaking crazy, man. Freaking crazy.
Bigger, better, badder.
Yep. The complete NES, which I showed the book right here. This is the slipcase version. I just hit myself. And then, of course, the book is in there. This is the advanced copy, but this is the book. Look how much thicker this is. My original one was 180 pages. This is 500 pages, man. It is crazy stuff.
Thick boy.
And it is now shipping to backers as of yesterday. So I did last week. I ended up giving everyone a 48-hour notice to change your your addresses, which you just click a button in Kickstarter and it shoots them all an email, says you have 48 hours.
Yep.
And then I waited a couple extra days for those that weren't able to get in there so they could email me their address changes, which I had a couple of those. And then I put it all into a spreadsheet, put it into the warehouse, did it wrong, had to redo it all 3 different times.
Yeah.
Figured it out. Now I put in there if any backers had any specific like notes or anything, I did that. And then I put everything else as like, please handle with care, like in the notes too.
Yeah.
So I think it's every single backer that has a physical book and add-on will be getting shipped out there. Now there is custom controllers that Josh on our team will be printing on controllers for the Kickstarter. Those are still being done, but they will be shipped separately, and I'm not charging any extra shipping for backers or anything. I'm just going to ship it out later. And so those are really, really cool though. Badass freaking controllers. The other one is the Twisted Realities Black Box Challenge. It's like a little choose your own adventure style, but it's Worlds of Power. Worlds of Power is like a narrative choose your own adventure. You jump around.
Yeah.
You don't jump around, but what choose your own adventure had that the Worlds of Power didn't was art inside the book, like pencil drawn artwork. So it has pencil drawn artwork in a narrative style talking about Jeffrey Wittenhagen's Black Box Challenge. It's a whole narrative. So it's a novel. I wrote a novel. It took me 8 years to write it all. And the advanced copy should be coming soon. I got a email about the advanced copy is in shipping right now. So I'll be able to show that off. I have not seen it in person. I'm doing the old school black and white on it. I got new art for it from the artist. The artist that ended up going with was Mickey Ivy. She is a like legend in the industry. She did a lot more practical art. She worked on the Nightmare Before Christmas for Disney.
Wow.
And her dad used to work up in the Detroit area doing a lot of local like physical art, and like he's a local legend up there before he passed away, and he's like awesome too. And so, and then she's also working on some other physical items. She's done a lot of tiki stuff, but she's going to work on some NES tiki stuff so I can do with a future project. Like I got an NES tiki mug that she's working on for me, which I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah,
and
that's going to be sick.
Tiki shot glasses for premium edition games characters that we've published.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff she's been working on, but she's super talented too. Her artwork looks awesome. Her pencil drawings are like immaculate. They're like little mini works of art, every single one. And there's like hundreds of these in the book. This is what took so long, is there's hundreds of art in there.
Dang.
Like it is insane. And that's when we talk scope creep with projects, this is exactly what this project was. It turned into something fun I was going to do. And then I added kind of like because nobody really has mastered Black Box Challenge to get 100%. So I ended up putting a mini strategy guide aspect into it. And then I added the narrative back into it. So it's a narrative strategy guide throughout the whole book. And it is really cool. And there's a story in there that doesn't exist in the NES one that ties together like this whole world. And like it's crazy, man.
That's awesome.
Like it is awesome. This was from a Kickstarter from like 5 years ago. Like I started working on the book many years before that.
Yeah, but before I even knew Jeff.
It's crazy, man. But it's finally in printing, and that one's also on a freighter. But finally working on that one. And then of course I'm still knocking out Switch Year 3 as well as the complete Genesis. I don't think I worked on Genesis this last week, but I did knock out a few more because talking scope creep, I decided to add a mini sentence, 1 to 2 sentence tagline for every single game, so that way you can read a little bit about it. So it's not truly abridged anymore in Year 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's going back into you could at least read something about every single game. And that way it's little mini synopsis. And so I am going back through the licensed physical releases and doing that. That's what I've been working on recently is doing those little write-ups.
Time consuming, man.
It has been taking a while, man. It's been taking a while, but doing Metroidvania year 2 phase 2. Metroidvania phase 2, though, that's already going to be done, so I can get that to Kickstarter, so that one can go up. Like, that is the Project Madness, dude, and that's just mine. We still got yours, brother. Where are you at?
Oh, well, I already said that I'm done with the book, but it turns out that that's not the case because I ran it by Mr. Wittenhagen here, who's my publisher, and one thing that I did not consider is the end sheets properly. So I have to add a few pages to every book to kind of shuffle around the stuff. That way, all the pages that have text on them are on glossy pages instead of So
then the next thing I'm going to do, which I'm going to do either tonight or tomorrow, is I'm going to go through every book and do the scroll. I'm going to do it in super zoomed in, do the scroll. That way I can make sure that when you did your export, all of the files are linked properly. So there's no glitching of any of the
good idea. Great idea.
No, that's the final QA/QC. I won't be looking at it for content. So if you're missing a game or something,
I'm satisfied that we, I had an editing team of about 15 people, and dude, we took a fine-tooth comb to that entire 4-volume, 2,400 pages, and we caught a lot of stuff. We did, so I'm glad we went through it. It was not for nothing.
Well, you say 2,400 pages. So this right here is 536. So this is how big your books will be. Yeah. By the way, I said I would never go over 500 pages, and then my NES book I do is 536 pages.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. I think the people that are gonna get this NES book, they're gonna be like wild. They're gonna love it.
Yeah, I think volume 1 is like 600 pages. Volume 2 is 700 pages.
Dude.
And then I got one that's like 500 and another one that's 600 or something like that. But it's just absurd. I know.
Some of the stuff though, because like there'll be other books that you'll see come out. The stuff that people miss, the little details, is like doing the little banding, like the bands on here and stuff. Helps with the binding, especially when you have giant tomes like this, because like you have to do a little bit higher quality.
Well, otherwise, like you open the thing and it'll just fall apart.
I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be a fun one. You're gonna be able to knock people out.
Big time.
Yeah. We're also going to look at options for your slipcase because it's going over all 4 books. Because like this right here is a thick cardstock cardboard, just like you did with your video game console collector's field guide. But I am afraid that this may not hold up when we stretch it out this way and add 20 to 30 pounds to it, that it might just like fall through the middle. So I'm going to bring those concerns and see if we can get like I don't know, maybe a plastic style or a corrugated style. I don't know. I'm going to see what
we'll see.
Full metal. I don't
But metal. Just like, kind of like an ammo box or something.
Ammo can.
Gosh. Add another 50 pounds to the book.
A wooden crate to fit the books in it. Like I have to do a crated up book set that you do. Freaking crazy, man.
I cannot wait though, man. Like I obviously like I'll fix the whole end sheet issue. But as soon as I get those files to you, then you do your checks, we'll get them to the printer, and then the agonizing months wait to get the advanced copy and see how it turns out.
And then we're also working with Rob Strangman, as we mentioned. We're working. I'm currently working covers with him, but we're going to be definitely supporting him, taking it to Kickstarter to help support him and his family and get his books out there. He has 4 books that he also is working on, but those ones are only black and white, and we're doing them small form to make them a really fun read. Dude writes so interactive though. Like it's like you're like living his childhood with him. Like it's really, really cool.
Yeah, he's a great writer.
Oh yeah, I love it. So like it's happy to help him out. I know he's currently getting us all the art and everything, and I'm gonna lay out his covers and give him a little modern flavor, and maybe come up with some kind of cohesive for the whole set or something, make it super cool for him.
Yeah.
Just Rob's a great dude. He's awesome. And hopefully we're able to help him get his books out there. That'll be pretty awesome.
That would be kind of neat to have like all the spines, like make something.
Exactly. Love doing that kind of stuff, like anime DVD cases back in the day. Like,
yeah. You put them together and it spells Rob.
Ooh, that would be cool. But yeah, we're doing that. And then on the premium side, I know we're working on the series, I think it's series 8 that they're going into in the spring. And so the new games that will be going up for pre-order as we wait on the other games to come in that have been submitted to production. So I know you and I, we've been working on doing different art elements and art aspects on the side, and it's been fun. And we're going to do some, we've been doing gathering assets with developers is what we've been doing for that. So we're like waiting on developers to give us all the art so we can start creating. I typically wait till I get it all, and then I just like work on like every game and do them all at the same time and let's knock them all out one by one. And I work fast. So, but I got to get like inspired to do it. Like I can't just like make
same. Gotta be in the mood to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even tell you, but yeah. So I'm still working on the Sunshine Anthology strategy guide, which I just finished. I'm done with Camp Sunshine. That half.
Nice.
And that's the hard half. The other half, I'm just gonna play through the game and write the guide, and it won't be that hard. It'll just be a walkthrough. So
just make sure in Sunshine Manor when you write the guide, you find the secret hidden Easter egg where you get to kill me. Because apparently I'm in the game somewhere and you get to kill me.
What?
Yes. Barry and I are somewhere like in there.
Barry and Jeff.
We are somewhere in the game. I have not found it myself yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to reach out to the developer and find that because I may not find it if you haven't found it. I wouldn't have known about that if you hadn't said anything. That's freaking awesome.
And I know that we've been working with a super fan that has been part of the community that Paul, the developer, has been working with too, that developed the guide for Camp Sunshine, some of the write-ups. Yep. So that huge shoot out to the community for Camp Sunshine.
Oh, seriously. Yeah, I took his work and I just ran with it and added a whole bunch of stuff to it. But
it looked pretty.
Yes, I did. It looks good.
So yeah, because that's one thing. Like Camp Sunshine's a complicated beast too, because there are Kickstarter exclusive covers for that, and so whenever we do a Kickstarter, things get a little wild. And I think that is our first of 3 so far that we've been associated with, because it's been Camp Sunshine Manor, it's been Poglings, and then Crystalla.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Are the 3 that we've been associated with so far. I say so far because who's to say as developers reach out to us, we'll work with them.
Well, we already know of another one that's going to be.
I mean, without giving away spoilers. Like,
yeah, I'm not going to say anything, but
no, but what we will say to wet the whistle of what we just hinted at is there's some legend. It's legendary. It's fucking cool.
Yes, it's got a pedigree. It's got a pedigree.
Yep. Yeah, we always state, with premium, we always try to raise the bar. Like, this is just another amazing title that we have the honor of releasing physically. Like,
I feel super honored to work on this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And I know I've been going back and forth with the developer even today. This morning it was night. Is I think nighttime for him, morning for me, different for y'all. We're all in different time zones for every developer we work with. But it was like going back and forth with them, just getting all the stuff we need and letting them know how crazy we are. Because with all of our premium releases, like even when we talk about Raji, when we did the collector's edition, we didn't have the same element on any of the pieces. So it's freaking nuts. We're crazy. Like we have tons and tons and tons of stuff. And, letting developers know, like as many art pieces as you give us, like we'll have fun with it. But we also know artists. And then Tristan and I will get fancy. Like we'll create like this collector's box that Tristan did for Raji over here. Like you designed the whole like awesome slipcase that just looks like a Indian folklore like slipcase without even needing any art. You just had like the little design.
Yeah, I just took what they gave me and made a little design, and it actually looks cool. Good. So
and that's cool. So like we don't necessarily need art, but the more stuff we have in the same style to give it a cohesive theme is better. And so that's the kind of like what we do with all the design. It's fun as hell, man. And I mean, we got a couple of NES games we're working on for the spring, a couple of Switch games we're working on for the spring, a couple I think that are unannounced that will be launching. Like there's some cool stuff coming. And then all while we're doing like PlayStation stuff too. And
that's right. Well, yeah, you were talking about the patches, and I forgot to say, but man, I can't wait for those platinum trophy patches. You talk about like platinum trophy hunters, like that's next level,
dude.
Like you get a
physical platinum trophy with the art on it.
Yeah, and we're the only people doing that.
Yeah,
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, Sony's been a pain in the butt though, because we had to find certain elements for the packaging. It's why you don't have your PlayStation games. Those of you that pre-ordered them is because we were waiting on Sony. They've been notoriously stubborn to get back to us, and now it's like I got to put in trouble tickets, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna start over again.
We keep working toward it. And
and it's been waiting. Like we
very
literally just
going.
We're just gonna order it. Like it's like Josh on our team just needs to order it, and we're missing like a code and another detail, and it's like it's crazy. So do we have anybody in the chat? Any cool comments going on right now that we can?
From the void when we were talking about our game that it has a pedigree. He's like, ooh, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is that like when you come on video game bullshit, like sometimes we'll talk about games. If we test anything that we feel like we would talk about, we can we'll chat about those. I actually do have a question, and this comes from a video game publisher side. We have an opportunity, and we won't say what the games are, but we have an opportunity to publish games in a collection pack, right? And you're gonna realize what games I'm talking about, Tristan. We can publish games in a collection, has a couple of new games, but like 3 of the games are already published physically. 3 of the games are already published physically, and we have the option to publish those games plus like a couple more all in the same series on one collection. First of all, Jeff doesn't enjoy creating like collection ones because I'd rather have like individual game releases that are like, amazing releases. But if we do a pack of like, I don't know, like Blaster Master Trilogy or something, like that's not the game, but like Blaster Master Trilogy, which they've then did in Playasia, like doing all 3 of those games is cool because then I could do an artistic design. These are not that. These are like some of the games are similar, but they're all like, they're similarly themed, but they're all not the same. It's not like Blaster Master 1, 2, and 3. They're different games. And some of them already have a physical release. So it's not like there's not a preservation aspect to it. So what are your thoughts on that, Tristan? Like us publishing a multi-pack of games with only a couple that are new. And they're okay. They're shorter games.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You get more content, obviously, but then like if the content doesn't appeal to you, then you're not getting. Yeah, it doesn't give you any more incentive to buy a game, and you feel like you're paying more for the little piece of the game that you do want. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm not a fan of the multi-packs either, to be honest.
Yeah, And our only multi-pack that we've done so far to date is the Pigeon Dev Games collection.
Yeah.
But that was before we were a proven physical publisher, and that digital publisher, sometimes you gave us a chance. And so we published, and it was Awesome P1 and 2. They those are on that collection. And Metal Jesus Rocks had given it glowing reviews. I played it, enjoyed those little pixel platformer games. They were fun. The other 2 games were bonus. Instead of calling it the Awesome P collection, decided to call it the Pigeon Dev Games collection, including the other 2 games. And then I had to think I regretted calling it that, not doing a Game Boy style packaging. Like I've made but like it's also given me this. Maybe I have a personal bias against it because of my experience with it and the fact that it didn't sell well. Because nobody knows what a Pigeon Dev is. Nobody knows who that It's not Konami. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just, maybe it's just me. But I've seen multi-packs out there. Like, there's a platformer collection or a shoot 'em up collection or an arcade stuff.
Yeah, and I realize that we're doing a multi-pack in the Sunshine Anthology, but that makes sense.
Sunshine 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's both of them in the series. They're connected.
Yeah.
They both have not come out physically, and they're both awesome games.
Yeah, and they're in the same series of games.
Same universe. Yeah.
But the thing is that, like, to me, with this new opportunity, it's like they're okay, but also the other ones already have the physical. And that's my, like,
I'm personally not a fan. I mean, if I had to take a choice between a multi-pack like you're describing and just like a solid IP, I'm going to take the solid IP all day long.
Yeah. Well, and you got to add on to it now, not from a sales perspective, not from a collector's perspective, not from a preservation perspective, but think about all the time it takes us to do all the design work, all the publishing, all the time it's going to take us to do the marketing and all of that. Plus, then it's the cost to produce it is significant because in the US we have to publish more copies. So it's a lot of money too. And taking all that money and putting it towards something that's already got a physical, or we can support a really amazing game. And we have a lot of those already that we haven't even announced. So it's
so
I'm like,
from the Void said, if the games are good, I see the value in a collection other than games that exist with other games that exist. Like the Annapurna collection that came out has 12 games and only 3 unreleased physically, but that thing is precious. Now, did the Annapurna collection come out? Was that a European release or was that a States release?
I actually don't know the specifics of the Annapurna collection.
I want to say that was an overseas release, but I'm spitballing on that.
Because when I'm writing like the Switch collector books, I'm going like right now I'm deep into year 3. And when we did the Switchmania playcast, I was keeping up on all of it with the team. But like now, like I focus on what we're currently working on. So like, I don't keep up with the new stuff.
No, it does have an ESRB. So, I mean, that's kind of surprising in a $400 game or whatever it was, $400 game.
What games are on the Annapurna?
1 second.
Yeah, because that's the interesting part too. Is it like, but like the games, they're okay. And I have all the demos, so I'm going to play them all. But the thing is, Tristan, is the interesting ones that are not released physically. I don't think we have codes to test on Switch. So they gave us like an Xbox code or something else for some of the other interesting ones, and I'm like, I don't even have an Xbox, so I can't even test it. So
this is what is interesting to me. I have 8-Bit did this release, and it was $200 at retail. So I'll correct myself right away. But it says limited edition of 2,500. Now, if they did 2,500 copies, and the minimum is 5,000,
marketing ploy.
Sure. So here's the game list.
Now, here's the thing. You don't have to make 5,000 copies. You have to make 5,000 cartridges.
Yes.
So what you do with those other 2,500 cartridges, they could have them all sit in a box until they decide to do something else with them.
I see.
They might put them all in a standard case and then sell them all later as a standard once the collector's editions sell out. That's usually what these companies do. That's why, like, I would never mislead and say we're going to do less quantity. Now, we'll do less versions. So maybe that version has 2,500 and then they'll have another version in the future. But, like, for us, like when we do like a Kickstarter exclusive, or we do a retailer exclusive, or any of that stuff for premium, it's like we'll do 1,000 copies of that version. But then there'll be our standard edition. Like it'll still add up to at least 5,000. Some of we've done 6, some of them we've done 8,000, some of them we've done 10,000 copies. But like we're also don't ever claim to be limited. We just fulfill to what people want, and it's still super limited in quantity. What every company out there right now, they're all super limited. There's no limited rare.
Yeah, it's just it's low print companies.
It's all low print, man. We're a low print company too, but we're not limited by design. We're low print by necessity of what the community wants right now.
Yeah, we don't have unlimited funds either.
But if we had millions of people that pre-ordered it, we would order millions of copies.
Sure.
So it's really low print based on community feedback and community buy-in. Community buy-in will be the key. But you know, there's not unlimited funds. But also, like if we had 1 million people that wanted to buy a game, we would make 1 million copies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an interesting thing. Then we've seen lots of companies say, "Oh, we're only doing 2,000 copies," and it's like, no, you're not, dude. Like even in Europe, it's 3,000. It's 3,000 in Europe. And we're not going to establish and do PEGI copies because everybody has said that they want the ESRB. Like so we just do an ESRB.
Yeah, and that's a topic for another day. But there is an aversion as collectors over here in the United States to stay away from PEGI, which is weird because it's the same game. It's just it looks different next to your other ESRB releases.
Yep.
I think
that's a interesting topic, though. That's why I want like when we do the premium stuff, maybe bring up an interesting topic every time. But the collectors, massive game collaboration, doing a collection of games. Is that interesting, or should we just focus on? And I mean, like now, if we had a Konami collection, yeah, it's a no-brainer. But we're talking about stuff that nobody would know what the games are because they're indie games.
Yeah,
and
like Pigeon Dev collection.
And we would have to massively promote them, and none of them have a very loose unifying theme. Probably based on like graphical style or something, but like no narrative. It's not like Blaster Master 1, 2, and 3. It's like there's no narrative, no in canon, no story linking, none of that. It's very, very loose. And the games are shorter. So it's like, it's not like we're doing a Metroidvania collection or something. We're doing a Metroidvania collection, that'd be different. So I went into it looking at it, not being super interested. From what the team is telling us, that there's some of the games are popular, I guess, but I never heard of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of faith being put in, that. At the end of the day, it's hindsight's 20/20, so who knows. But based on our track record, we only have one
track record.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to compare it to what we've already done. So
what we've done and what we know, and what we know that our community likes and enjoys. There's even games that we've enjoyed, that we like, that we've published, that haven't sold as well as other games. And we're like, hey, we all like this. And the sales numbers have been less than other games, so but we still like them. Everything that we've signed, there is something that we enjoy about. Just like even the Pigeon Dev Games collection. Yes, regret the name, but Awesome P1 and 2 are fun.
Yes.
I did jokingly poke at Josh and said Awesome P3 did get released like a couple weeks ago.
Oh no.
But honestly, like I played it. It's I don't get it because there's a new mechanic in it, and I just don't understand the mechanic. There's like this wall jump dash mechanic that I can't do.
Oh gosh.
But like, yeah, so there is an awesome B3 now. So the Pigeon Dev Games collection is no longer complete. That one and Witchcrafty, I think that the developer has released now since then.
So yeah, from the Void agrees with us that it would be much less attractive in that case when there's a loose connection between the games. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Exactly. Unless you're talking about like an SNK collection or a Konami collection, someone that has a pedigree and a history, and you're like celebrating their history. Yeah. Then, but if you're talking about indie games that just don't have a release and have a loose connection because they were made by the same publisher, no. I mean same developer. Excuse me.
And like right before we did Pigeon Dev, Lemon Run did the Atui collection, which is like Mutant Muds and all those.
Yeah.
And even that they claimed later was a bad idea because it wasn't known enough. And little hindsight did we know that we did the same thing with our own. So live and learn. I don't like multi-card or multi-application cards, which is called the MAC, which you can put 4 applications, not a games collection, but 4 applications on one cartridge. Not really a fan of them. We're going to do the double application with Sunshine, but they're both amazing and in the same canon. So
and don't get us wrong. It sounds like we're crapping on Pigeon Dev Games Collection. We're just crapping on the name. It's actually a good game.
The name and the marketing of it. Like, what's a Pigeon Dev? And in reality, like if the developer was more known, it would have been obvious. But like, it's a super indie studio. Nobody knows. And because it's the name of a bird,
and dude, there's literally an awesome P collection for the Vita that East Asia Soft did, and it sold out. So that just goes to show you.
And I think our standards are close to, if not sold out, for Pigeon Dev. So
I know, they're pretty close.
We just have collector's edition, the deluxe edition, and retro editions. I always said we should like repackage them into Game Boy versions, which would be cool, but we already made them. I'm not redoing stuff.
No. That's a lot of work for somebody.
But I think it's time to move over towards bullshit homework. But before we talk about the game of the episode, do you have any progress update on Hollow Knight? Did you play any Hollow Knight?
I didn't. I did not.
You said it was in your backlog.
Tristan. I know, but then I started working on stuff when I shouldn't have been working on stuff. You know me.
Tristan.
I know.
I did. I left my Switch up here in the bedroom. And I did play for a little bit. I ended up beating the double boss where it shoots the shelled boss where you have to use the soul shot. I did beat those. Ran around a little bit and then went up and saved. I played for like 15 minutes, but I did play.
No, I didn't even turn it on. I turned on my PS5 and my Switch, not at all. This week.
Well, I think it's time to talk about our bullshit homework game. And that is this game right here, Light Crusader. And now I could show it off on camera because I found that at the flea market last week. I don't have the box protector for my Genesis yet. But I love that this has the Blockbuster sticker on it. No manual included, which is hilarious. And that it was $11.99 when they sold it at Blockbuster back in the day. Like classics. So first and foremost, I'll lay the wallpaper. But I had no clue that this was a Treasure game. Every logo on this box is covered by a sticker. I didn't know it was made by Treasure. Treasure made Gunstar Heroes. Freaking awesome. Like that was a damn surprise. So Light Crusader is an action-adventure game developed by Treasure and published by Sega for their Sega Genesis console in 1995. The game was included in Sega Genesis Classics Collection on Steam and other platforms in 2011. It's also included on the Sega Genesis Mini in North America.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was programmed by Kazukiyo Ishida and Masato Magawa, and the artist was Hiroshi Ouchi. Composer of the soundtrack was Aikai Hada, and classic VGBS fashion, I never pronounced those correctly. No clip. Hilarious. So the game is played from an isometric point of view. Players can move freely and jump and push objects. They can execute simple sword slashes, use 4 magical elements in different combinations. So if you can take like fire, water, you can combine them together and it creates like, and certain ones will create ice and certain ones will create other types of things. And gameplay is a mix of action, puzzle solving, and platforming for the most part, with the usual role-playing staples such as towns, shops, equipment, and spellcasting. The player controls Sir David, as he travels through an assortment of dungeons, battling creatures such as slimes.
So many slimes.
Solving puzzles to advance and saving those who are kidnapped. An auto map feature keeps the focus on the action and single room puzzles rather than mazes and labyrinths. First and foremost, I have never liked isometric games because they control terribly, can never judge who you are, and all of that. This game is freaking awesome. Like I can see where I'm going. You move around fluidly. There's like a little shadow when you jump. Like what was your feedback for this here, Tristan?
My first feedback is that I can't believe I've never even heard of this game, because it's actually really good. Had I owned this game as a kid, I would have enjoyed the hell out of it and probably beat it like multiple times.
Millions of times, yeah.
It's so good.
Like, what the hell? Like I played it. So honestly, I only played it last weekend. I didn't play it all week because working. But like, I played so long on Sunday that my hands started to cramp. Because I played it.
That's another one of my complaints. Go ahead.
I played it on FPGA on my analog pocket. So I only played it on the analog pocket. It's to the point now where I ordered a handle for it for more comfort for my analog pocket, like a 3D printed one, because like it hurt my hands so bad. I was like, I'm not gonna play it till I get the damn handle in. Etsy. We talked about Etsy. I got one that's being made on Etsy, 3D printed. And I'm going to slide my analog pocket into it so I can have like some more of a Joy-Con or a Pro Controller type grip with it, instead of playing it on my TV, which I could do with many of the Pro Controllers I have. Me being a dork, I just like ordered something for my damn analog pocket. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I played so long. My hands cramped, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, on that little, that I could see how that would happen, but. See, I was playing on a traditional Genesis at Ben's Game Zone. I found a copy of like Crusader, and nice. I was like super stoked. I didn't want to have to emulate it, so I looked at his store first, and they had a copy. So
cart or box?
Just cart. I didn't find the box, but beggars can't be choosers.
We found it.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so I popped it in, and like. Yeah, just like you, my hands started cramping up, but that's just because I wasn't used to the Sega Genesis controller for a while.
We're old and we have arthritis.
I know. I was playing it on my Laser Active, by the way.
That's amazing.
Shout out to the Laser Active. And the Laser Active controller, it's shaped kind of like the later in life, like smaller 6-button Genesis controllers.
Yeah.
But eventually I had to switch to my Hori Mega Commander, which I love that controller, by the way. That sort of made the cramps go away. But I played it for about an hour. I was super impressed with the isometric, like how natural it was. But here's one thing. Like, I really think that the makers of Super Mario RPG took some notes from this game for their platforming.
I think they did.
I really do.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, it's awesome, but it's also frustrating in the same way that it's fun. It's frustrating because, like, jumping and platforming in isometric viewpoint isn't ideal, especially when you're like pushing stuff around and doing puzzles.
Yeah.
But no, it's more like fun, and it's just a challenge. And one thing that I really wish that they had was a map.
There is a map.
Well, a better map, I'll say.
The on-screen map does pop up when you pause, and you can
but
it unveils as it auto maps you.
What I'm saying is, I wish I had like a strategy guide to go along.
Oh, you want it?
Yeah, an actual map.
So it would be interesting to see after you play it for more than an hour if you start getting to the frustration points that I hit.
Because I rescued a guy and a girl.
How many block puzzles did you have to do? Block push bullshit puzzles.
I mean, they weren't that complicated.
Or barrel push.
Yeah, barrel push and like blowing up.
So you do the game as you figure out how to get into the dungeons, which is a secret. Mm-hmm. You at the first floor, which is did you fight either boss? There's two bosses.
Yeah. I fought. There was this big blob with eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then I fought a dragon.
Okay,
the dragon that's in the background of our.
Yeah, and so after that, like second floor, the puzzles get much more complicated.
Oh boy,
and require precision and jumping and sliding puzzles and moving other beams on top of blocks and moving the blocks onto moving platforms and it gets and so I'll go over my notes of mine. First of all, there's credits at the beginning of the story. So we're talking about Sir David. It's a weird ass name for a knight, but they have a whole like story at the beginning, which is always awesome when you get a 16 or 8-bit or 16-bit game where it has like a whole story to get you into the lore of the game. Yeah. I did write down that the game controls really well and you can move around. When you walk into people, though, it's hilarious in the town because you can like push them around. You like literally take the king and push him. You could take you go to the whole fortune teller. You move the whole fortune teller around the room. I was like moving him around as I'm talking to him, which is freaking hilarious. That's what I would have done as a kid. So I just was messing around with everything. But you walk around, you talk with everyone. I ended up buying spells at the beginning, and that was 100% a waste. Because enemies drop tons and tons of spells. There's no reason to buy spells at the town. It's better to save up your money for armor, for the gauntlets, and for the sword. All of those are mid-tier swords too. Like I bought all the swords and everything for a reason that I'm about to tell you. Even up to I got all the way to the 3rd floor. I didn't find anything that was like I'm still like 2 or 3 notches away in where the swords are for the stuff that I did. But you have to do a simple puzzle from talking to people to find the dungeon, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like you talk to everyone and it's like, oh, go do this thing.
Go push this grave.
That damn eyeball boss killed me a couple times.
Really?
But I just respawned like immediately both times. So I don't know if you have lives or if it just respawn infinitely. But like I just respawned right in the same room and I kept fighting him. And that was the only time I died because the dragon later didn't. He was super fun, didn't die. Yeah. So and then I did end up grinding through the that first dungeon, the 1,500 gold that was required to get the sword. And then I read online something about the gold armor that is a drop from the little water plants that shoot at you when you jump in. And it said it's a random drop. And so, but you have to jump and dive at the flower guys at a certain time to kill them. So I ended up grinding for hours. And I never got the fucking drop.
No.
And that's why my hands were cramping.
Oh, no.
Now, I did end up getting enough gold points to buy every equipment in the town. So I got because I ended up because they drop like 300 or whatever gold points. They keep dropping gold points, or they drop spells, or they drop health. And I just kept doing it, and I'm like, oh, it says do it on the first floor. Another thing on Google says that they drop them on the second floor. So I went to every single one, and some of the forums say, oh, I did it on the first time. Another one said I did it for an hour and I never got it. I never got the damn thing, but I did get the bronze armor is what you're able to buy in the town. So I did get the bronze armor. And then I got the gauntlet too. So, and I have enough gold for that. Plus I'm like 1,000 in the bank now again. So it's fine. Second floor, I solved every puzzle. It was pretty cool because there was a guy there at the beginning. He's like, you need to help me out and find these 4 orbs. And you go around, you have to solve puzzles that you unlock by finding these scrolls, and then it like lets you have to like do a puzzle where you have to like hit north, south, east, west in a certain amount of hits, and then it'll unlock the thing. Or you have to do a like putting statues in a certain order, and it'll tell you in the level. What was really cool though, at the very end, once you get the last one, the guy shows up and he ends up being the big bad guy. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I tricked you. I needed this to get more power. And then he drops you and you fight a djinn, this djinn. But the funny thing is like, I go to like the top of the level. I'm just hacking at the djinn and he can't hit me because I'm out of his blast radius. So I was like, oh, and I beat him. It was pretty funny. But I'm also, that sword I have is a bit overpowered. So I feel like, you know, that allowed me to beat him. I think before the djinn one, there was like another mid boss. I think it was like this, like double-headed, like plant type of a boss. It was super cool. And now I have the third floor that is open, and that's where I paused and saved. Was the third, because my hands were cramping from trying to grind for the stupid gold armor for like 2 hours or some shit. But yeah, I don't know. I think that gold armor is fake. I don't know. It's bullshit. Because the other thing it says is that it pops up in a slot to the right that doesn't exist. Like there's secret armors and secret, like later on, there's these in 4th, 5th, whatever floor it is. There's these ninjas that drop these mitts, these gauntlets or something too, that you can get. So there's some random drop items, some rare drop items that you can get to power up your character. But that gold armor is the best armor in the game. It's right at the beginning. So it makes me want it though, Tim. It makes me want
it. Exactly. Yeah,
Why not? I don't want to play until I get the damn thing. So but the thing was, I hadn't went back. That was my single playthrough. I played for a bunch of hours. But I definitely want to go back. It is in my short backlog now of games. What about you, Tristan? How are you feeling about it?
So, no, I had a lot of fun with it too. Yeah. So my biggest frustration with the game is the hitbox with the sword. Does it change with the swords? Because like,
not really.
I didn't think so, because I got the rapier, which is the second sword. And yeah, it didn't seem to change. But like when you're fighting slimes, it's so hard not to get hit by the slimes because you have to get so like close to them if you're not using magic.
Well, and it's like you slash and move away so they can't hurt you, and then you slash at them and move away.
Yeah.
And if they do the clash, I still move away, and you still get credit for a hit. So yeah, I mean, after grinding on those damn things for an hour, I'm pretty good with the controls now.
I think it'd be a super fun game to play, and you know, it's always so much fun to play games when you're like completely overpowered. So like, one of my favorite
freaking armor.
Exactly, that's why you want that armor, and that's why you want like the most powerful weapons, so that you can just wreck fools. But I think this would be if I play this game to completion, I'm probably gonna pop it into Game Genie.
That would be
I hate to say it, but I probably am gonna pop it into Game Genie just so I can enjoy myself and not have to worry about dying.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though: is we're not playing games to record world records. We're playing for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be super, super awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to continue playing. I would like to beat it this year, so put it in my backlog and of beaten games in
What a
2024.
random one for you to find, and it's actually like a really good game that
It's
I've never
awesome.
even heard of. Yeah, what it makes
I
me wonder what else.
swear that Light Crusader has been in my like the conversation with like Landstalker and Crusader of Senti for like really good action RPGs. I swear it's
Yeah.
been in there, but I've never played it. And I've played the other two, but not like a lot either, like Crusader of Senti and Landstalker. I haven't really played those either. But like it's awesome. Like Light
Yeah.
Crusader is great. I mean, it's a solid A title for me. I don't think it's
Yeah.
quite S tier because of the stupid freaking block puzzles. Like, there's this one dude, I
Yeah.
swear I had to do it like 20 times because they had these blocks that were stacked on each other. You had to jump around and knock it off just at the right way so that way you can push it in front of a little beam that you had to push on top of the block. Then you took the beam thing to push it to a platform that you push, but then there's these moving platforms, and if it hits it at the wrong spot, it pushes it so you can't get around to it because the character can't move to it. But then you have to move it on top of that thing just to knock it off at the right spot. If you push it too far, you can't get behind it. So you can hit the door and open the damn door on the other side of blocks that you can't get to. Like, it was like so annoying. And then guess what it gave me, Tristan?
What?
The thunder sword that was like 4 notches underneath the sword that I bought at the time. I'm like, I don't need this sword. I did find in the second floor though, I think it's called the sexton or the sex something. It apparently allows you to teleport anywhere back to any spot, like at any time. So there's teleportation tiles that you find in every floor that'll take you. But with this item now, which was hidden, by the way, very well hidden actually. You have to like Zelda hit it stuff and break walls. This one now I can just pause the game and I think use that to teleport at any time back to the town. So that's kind of useful. But I have no reason to go to the town because I bought everything. So it's like town is dead to me now. It's dead to me.
Dead to you.
Now, at the very beginning, after the first boss, the first main boss, the dragon, you go back to the town. I think it's the last time that you're required to go back to the town. I don't know. I didn't have to after the second one. You just keep going. So I don't know how long it is. I haven't checked on how long to beat. It's probably only a few hours if you're not a dork like me and grind for a stupid golden armor that doesn't exist, jerks. The other thing is, go on Game FAQs, and there is multiple classic Sega Genesis codes. There's apparently like debug modes and stuff. So you may not even need to use Game Genie.
Hey,
there
look
are
at
codes. So I might try messing around with the debug codes too, as long as it doesn't require like a second player controller plugged in or something, because I'm playing it on analog. I'm going to try to do the debug codes and see if there's something that I can like mess around with. That might be fun too. I don't know. But there are definitely some codes for this game. So, yeah. So what do you give it, Tristan?
Yeah, I also give it an A. Nice. Especially like given the fact that like I'm trying to think about like how I would play it had I known about it as a kid. I would have loved this game. So it definitely would have been like one of my favorites. Again, like it surprises me all the time about the Sega Genesis library. I was a Genesis kid, but you know, like I didn't have any friends to like trade Genesis games with. Everyone else I knew had a Super Nintendo. So the games that I had were the games that I knew about. You know, like I didn't have Game Pro. I had Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
So, yeah, games like this just flew under the radar for me.
And I mean, I only played games with Kyle, and so he had like classic action games and 2-player games and stuff. So like these type of games, like we never had, and we played Gunstar Heroes for VGBS back in the day. No, I mean, but we played it for bullshit homework. Yeah. So every time they talk about treasure games and all this stuff, like I've never heard of this game talked in the same conversation. And it has that quality for it. It even has some like different types of like particle effects and stuff that are in Gunstar.
Yeah, it's really like impressive, and I actually like the soundtrack too.
Soundtrack's awesome.
Yeah,
and like I love Genesis soundtracks, like the ones that are done really well.
FM synth.
Yeah, like the ones that are done bad sound like fart sounds, but the ones that are done really good are like some of the best soundtracks of all time. Yeah, there's some of the best soundtracks of all time. So this is definitely going into my short backlog that I will, when I play on the Analog Pocket. It's probably going to take the place of Hollow Knight, since I've beaten Hollow Knight before. It'll probably.
I'm going to check out those cheat codes that you mentioned and see if there's something I can
see if there's anything cool.
Cheat my way through.
Yes, you dirty little cheater.
Yeah, that's right.
Such a dirty cheater, Tristan. Let's check before we talk about what we're going to do next time. Anybody in the comments mention anything about bullshit homework? If not, we'll move on. So what we didn't talk about this, so this is completely off the cuff. What are we going to do for the next bullshit homework? I don't have my Steam Deck with me, so I can't do indie retro random rock.
So I was actually thinking about this, and it's in line with what we just did on Sega Genesis, hidden gem on the Genesis. And I know that we just did Blazing Chrome, which is a run and gun, but I would love to play this game and compare it to Contra, which is like the gold standard or whatever. So if we play Midnight Resistance and compare it to Contra, and if you can think of like any other run and guns like during that era that we can compare it to, I would love to do that. But Midnight Resistance is the one that popped into my head.
Okay. Midnight Resistance is one. The other one that immediately pops into my head is one done by NG Dev Team that was on the Dreamcast.
Oh, really? Which one?
It has a green background. It's released in a DVD case. It has a Switch release.
Oh, it's Neurovoider, right? Is it?
Thought it started with a G.
Okay.
Either way, though, there is a game, a newer game that was released that has that run and gun aesthetic to it, but it also has like platforming in alignment to some of those platformer style games in the same genre. But Midnight Resistance is a good one. I do know that. I mean, obviously Metal Slug, but like, not going to jump down the Metal Slug or what is the one?
Gunlord X, I think is what you're thinking of.
Gunlord is what I'm thinking of.
And I do have that one. So that would
I feel like Gunlord is not level based like Midnight Resistance and Contras. I feel like it's more open world based, which is not in the same genre. But I say let's do Midnight Resistance, and then we can talk about similar games and maybe for future homework. Let's just do Midnight Resistance.
Awesome.
That sounds freaking badass. So is it time to clean up, or is there anything else, any alibis, anything else that we need to chat about?
I can't think of a thing, man.
Freaking, that was definitely a hidden treasure for Light Crusader. Hidden treasure. That's what I'm going to put as the subtitle, a hidden treasure, hidden gaming treasures. But yeah, so definitely join us. Those of you that are, listening, watching on YouTube, listening on the podcast apps, join us for some Midnight Resistance for next week. You can find all of our books and everything over at HagensAlley.com. The complete NES is now in shipping to backers, which means that pretty soon we're going to start marketing and putting it up for sale on the website. I'm going to do some small Facebook ads and stuff too for it. I haven't done Facebook ads in a while, so I feel like it's about time. And then Tristan, where can people get your small miniaturized versions of your giant tome books at?
If you want to check out VGCollectorGuide.com, I have several things available for sale to include bits and pieces. If you're a collector of just the Dreamcast or just Gizmondo or just the Pokemon Mini or, you name it, and you want a collector guide, go to vgcollectorguide.com and you can pick that up. You can also pick up my video game console collector's field guide from that very same website, or at premiumeditiongames.com.
And then at Hagen's Alley, you still can get copies of the NestDev competition from Video Game Bullshit. As heard on the episode, we did a whole mini book covering every game reviewed on the episode. And Tristan makes these by hand. So
I do.
Has his blood, sweat, and beers all in it.
Blood, sweat, and beard hairs.
It's blood, sweat, and beard hairs in it.
That's disgusting.
Yes. So definitely sniff the disgustingness of Tristan. But yeah. And now you may see both of us at Game On Expo in Phoenix, Arizona. That is in March during spring break. Is when that is happening. And there is going to be a panel confirmed. I do know Nintendo is going to be on it. And maybe Tristan will be there, which means it'll be a 3-person panel, which will be super fun. We're going to talk about the nuances of physical game collecting and how we see the market moving in the future and how we're already kind of doing it with premium edition games. So it'll be a really cool panel that we're going to do. And Nintendo, if you don't know, besides for doing YouTube content, also is the programmer with, designer, producer with the programmer Matt Bittner for the game Carl. That is released on multiple modern consoles, and premium edition games is doing the physical. So it's a super relevant panel that we're going to be doing at Game On Expo. It should be super fun. So thanks everybody for checking us out. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Later, guys.